Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video I'll be briefly discussing my thoughts on the Marc Webb directed sequel to The Amazing Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, I just saw this for the first time today, and being that it has been out for some time, in theaters and everything, and just came out on DVD and Blu-ray, I have heard a lot of derogatory things said about this film, but I've tried to leave all of that by the wayside and go in with my own, sort of clear-headedness and see how it impacts me. Now, I really loved the first Amazing Spider-Man. I loved the rapport and the dynamic between the characters. I felt there was a realism between the characters of Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker and Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy, respectively, as well as I liked the whole familial aspect with, Uncle Ben and Aunt May. I loved the mystery aspect to do with Peter's parents, and this movie picks up on a lot of the stuff that I just really loved. It continues a lot of the stuff. I did leave the film feeling there were certain pros and cons. To touch base with the cons, to start with, I would have to say one of the biggest glaring things was the almost Joel Schumacher-esque creation and origins of Jamie Foxx's Electro, which was badass once he, turned into full-on Electro, but building up to that, I was getting a strong Jim Carrey becomes the Riddler vibe, that kind of thing. And then I was really dismayed at the fact that we got so little of Paul Giamatti's Rhino. Wait till the very end, the final scene, and it was set up so, with such badassery. I was like, I want to see this at this point, And of course, boom, that's the cliffhanger ending. There are also aspects of the score that just kind of felt weird. Certain, cuts of music felt like they would be more suited to maybe a Captain America film or an Avengers film. And I think kind of what they were doing with this movie was maybe sort of competing with that aesthetic that the Avengers put forth. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm incorrect in that interpretation, but enough of the cons. Those are pretty much the big glaring cons that I felt watching the film that, distanced me to a certain degree from everything else that was going on, all the drama, the intrigue, and the characterization, the interplay between, as I say again, the strengths for this film, much like the first one for me, were Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker, his dynamic with Gwen Stacy, Emma Stone. They were beautiful together in this film once again. And so when you get to the point, spoiler warning, where she meets her, penultimate demise, paying homage to the tragic loss of her character as killed off in the comics, I hated it. I was so bummed that they went through with it, that they killed off Gwen Stacy. Let me just throw it out there right now. Is there any chance we can get Emma Stone back to play MJ in the next movie? Her natural hair color's red anyway. It'll work. Then Dane DeHaan. This kid was a mad, shocking surprise for me, a delight. I went in thinking, seeing the preliminary photos of him as the Goblin and everything like that, this kid is not really imposing, kind of looks goofy. Watch this movie, 180-degree turn. Not only did I like the rapport he had between, himself and Peter Parker, but I loved the viciousness that suddenly, you saw it burgeoning all through the film, and then when it finally comes to its culmination, it's believable. And I thought it was a lot more threatening in action than those pictures did it justice, put it that way. I loved Sally Field's Aunt May, once again having a scene that kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I think I know Peter's Spider-Man, as well as that they gave her stuff to do. She's got this other job, or I should say alternative job as a nurse and everything, and she was keeping things together during the blackout because of Electro. Loved that. I have to say, beyond that, I love the mystery elements that we picked up with Peter's parents and everything, and finding out, or should I say allowing him to find out, and us through him, of course, that his father wasn't this criminal. He didn't run away from Peter. He was trying to protect Peter, which really kind of touched base on the whole decision-making process Peter has had to make in his alternating between, wanting to have a life with Gwen Stacy and needing to be the hero that he needs to be and all this kind of stuff. And so, all in all, I'd have to say this movie for me garners about a 3.5 stars out of 5. I think they did a lot of great stuff in it. Not everything worked out, as well as could be. But yeah, I actually am glad I saw it, and it is going to be a welcome part of my collection, and I can't wait to see what they do in the concluding chapters or continuing chapters of the Amazing Spider-Man film saga. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of Amazing Spider-Man 2, if you've seen it as yet, and otherwise, I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.